Hey guys, welcome back to Love Truck Garage. Well, this week we hit the books and we're going to take a look at this Crusty Love inside and out. We're going to see if we can't get it to fire off. I have a couple different Chevy Love manuals and they're okay for reference, but the real source for Chevy Love information is at lovetruck.com. If you need to know something about a Chevy Love, that's the place to go. The first thing I decided to do was locate the timing mark on the crank pulley. Then I made it real easy to see with a little white paint. The old eyes need all the help they can get. I decided to pull the valve cover and see what it looked like inside. I've seen quite a few will it start videos where the whole valve train is completely rusted. We'll know here in a second. It all looked pretty good. It was surprisingly clean. The inside of the valve cover even looked like it had been cleaned recently. So I rotated the crankshaft and watched the valves. I wanted to be real sure I was at top dead center on number 1. The engine seems to have pretty good compression too. For a starting point, I set the crank pulley at 0 degrees. I set the distributor so the points would be open when the rotors pointed at number 1. This was really just a starting point. I thought we'd get it to fire at this point, but it should be really at 6 degrees, not 0. So I made sure my firing order was right, hooked up the battery and the remote starter, and let's give it a shot. Just a little shot of starting fluid. What do you know? She fired off. Well, I'm making some progress, but I really think I need to get it timed closer to 6 degrees than being at 0 degrees top dead center. And I did switch over to gas, just a little shot here and there. It's getting a little better, but this truck doesn't have a gas tank or a radiator, so I don't really want to run it for too long anyway. Oh, and it doesn't have any exhaust either. Well, I seem to have mastered this trick, but I decided I wanted to take a look inside the cylinders and see what I could see. So I dug out my old borescope and wanted to take a look at number 4 cylinder. When I first pulled the plugs out, number 4 was the only plug that had rust on it, so I was a little concerned. And sure enough, there's a little band of rust at the very top of the cylinder, so at least the cylinder was all the way up as it was sitting. I don't know if that's going to make a big deal or not, but we'll find out. And that's about as far as I got on the black truck this week. And on the blue two-wheel drive truck, I've got some ideas. Waiting on titles. We'll see what we can do when we get those. I would really like to do something like this with the blue truck. It's rusty enough and I have a welder, so why not play around a little bit? This truck caught my eye years ago and I'd really like to do something like this. If you're still here, I really do appreciate you watching. And don't forget, t-shirts, hoodies, and trucker hats at lovetruckgarage.com.